Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video is going to be my second last update on this 12-week challenge. I'm just here to share my thoughts and things that I've learned and things that kind of took me by surprise. Pretty much we're entering week 10 tomorrow. Let's start off with my weight, because that is probably something most people are most curious about, because surely when you're 10 weeks in, you should be around 80% of where you want to be. So I started off with being 70.6 till now I am, till today, this morning, 66.9, and that's about a 3.7 kilo drop. And honestly, I have come to terms with how much I have dropped, because honestly I feel as though 10 kilo was a bit too much, to be honest. I think mainly I prioritized my recovery, how well I do in my gym sessions. Obviously I didn't want to compromise that by dropping my calories too low, and there is a reason why I kind of maintained my calories at 2,100 rather than dropping it any further, and I'll share with you guys as to why. And because I am doing 3 Pilates sessions per week, 4 weightlifting sessions, and I'm slowly just incorporated run. I wouldn't say running is like my new thing yet. I just started like this week, hopefully to see my weight drop a little bit more, but I don't know if that's going to be like a long-term thing I want to continue. I'm more of like someone who enjoys like playing badminton or like outdoor sports rather than running personally. Moving on to food, because I think food is one of the things where people would ask, how did you lose weight, what did you eat, and all that, etc. I would have to say, with me tracking all my calories, I know whether or not I've hit my protein, my fats, and my carbs. And I'll have to say that when I know I'm going out to eat, I do bank some calories. But even though when I'm out, I wouldn't opt for something that's more fried or too oily. And I think that's just made the next day much more easier. It doesn't feel as I had a massive cheat meal. It's still somewhat healthy. And personally, I think with these change in habits, change in my food selection, it actually made me a bit more conscious with the food that I'm having nowadays. And occasionally I would have some sweet treat, and that is more than enough for me to just feel like, okay, you know, I'm not out here struggling, I'm not out here really suffering through this cut. I'm not gonna sit here and say, okay, when I went out I never had like hot chips or whatever. There has been times when, literally last week, I went for my first 6-kilometer run and I already hit all my calories, everything, right? But then after my run, I was literally starving. And I also did have an acai like after my run, and I was like, I'm still really hungry. And we ended up just getting chubby buns. And honestly, whilst eating that, I didn't feel guilty. I just felt as though, you know, at this point of time, I'm hungry and I want to eat. And it was about like 8 o'clock, 8:30, and I just really craved that. So you know what, I ended up having it. The thing was, surprisingly, the next day I honestly didn't feel guilty. I think that sometimes creeps in when I'm doing so much like work for this weight drop, and then I just eat something that's a bit heavy. Yeah, I honestly didn't feel guilty. My weight it just jumped up by, I think, 0.2 or something like that, I forget. But then the next day I literally just went about my day, did the exact same thing I would do, where I just eat what I need to eat and just not be like, you know, peckish and eat junk food. And honestly, I think that's a more healthier way to approach weight loss, rather than just completely sacrificing every single thing that you normally like to eat. I'll just have to say that I have somewhat enjoyed this process. I have also kind of gravitated more to like sugar-free drinks or like jellies. So to be honest, I actually stopped having those sugar-free jelly. What am I saying? I haven't had the need to feel any cravings. My meals I've also pushed them to like a later time where I have my food, so I will have it my first shake at 10 a.m. I'll go to the gym around 11, finish up about 1:30 to 2, and I'll come home, I'll have my lunch. Afterwards, I'll have my creatine, and then I have dinner like 6 to 6:30, and incorporate more fruits with that meal, so then I don't gravitate to something like ice cream or sugary stuff. And I make sure that I have like some sort of drink with my dinner, like a carbonated drink. And to me, I kind of view it as a sweet treat as well. I think it's just how you view your food. Personally, I think if I just kept thinking about sweets, I would always want to have it after. But yeah, to be honest, I don't think you have to be super restrictive. From what I've learned is you pick and choose. Do you want to sacrifice these 300 calories for a serving of cookies and cream, or would you rather have 300 calories of protein, like healthy food that keeps you a bit more fuller? You get what I'm saying. So yeah, that's something I've learned and kind of incorporated into my food selection, and I think honestly it's helped a lot, and I love it. I honestly love it. And I think moving forward, food, I'll just be a bit more conscious. Okay, so now moving on to something a bit more personal. So this is something that happened to me literally in my last cycle, where I got a little bit scared because when I dropped my calories below maintenance, it was actually not good for me when you're about to get your period and you're putting your body through so much stress and your hormones can become a bit imbalanced, and that typically affects your period, and it could either delay your period or just stop your period. And honestly, I don't want this whole weight loss affect that. I think it's important for me to regulate all those things. So I kind of just brought my calories back to maintenance rather than being at a deficit for however longer. So yeah, that was just something that I had to learn and experience. The last thing that I wanted to also note is honestly how confident I am in my clothes again. I think previously when I was kind of a bit more like skinny fat, I feel as though like when I just wore the clothes, I wasn't as happy as to what I envisioned it to be. And I think it just took a lot of, you know, overcoming and changes in my life for me to reach this point where I'm happy and I'm content with the way that I look. Yeah, and I guess like the final thing that I want to share with you guys is that no matter whether or not you're losing weight because you want to drop weight to fit in clothes or feel healthier, no matter what your reason is, I hope that you actually feel happy about it and enjoy the process, because sometimes it can be mentally challenging and physically tiring, and it is very fatiguing. Do things that makes you happy, and if there's days where it's definitely way more rough than other days, don't be so harsh on yourself and not eat that sweet treat if that sweet treat makes you happy. Like, I think that is so important to keep you mentally sane and also physically, you know, able to do things still. Does that make sense? I hope it does. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video and learned something from it, or even resonated this with you guys. If you guys are going through weight loss or you've just finished one, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll make sure to post my last video on this 12-week challenge. I'll see you guys in the next video, and let me know if there's any topics you guys want me to talk about, and I'll make sure to make a video about it. So have an amazing week ahead, and I'll definitely see you guys in the next one. Bye.